The role of Lithuania in supporting Ukraine is difficult to overestimate. A steadfast and principled ally, Lithuania has provided assistance amounting to nearly 2% of its GDP, one of the highest levels of support in the world, exceeded only by Denmark and Estonia. Lithuania was among the first countries to supply Ukraine with lethal weapons, delivering millions of rounds of ammunition, assault rifles, and other arms to replace Soviet-era stockpiles. The first packages of Lithuanian military aid arrived in Ukraine as early as February 27, 2022, on the third day of Russia's full-scale invasion, at a time when many countries expected Kyiv to fall within days or weeks. Following Russian attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, Lithuania transferred a thermal power plant, TPP, along with additional equipment for power generation and repairs. Since 2022, Lithuania's support has expanded significantly beyond military assistance to include humanitarian aid, reconstruction, and long-term development cooperation. With the backing of the Lithuanian government, the Create Ukraine initiative was launched, bringing first 10 and later another 25 highly qualified young professionals back to Ukraine from Europe and the United States. Lithuania has also assumed responsibility for financing the reconstruction of schools and kindergartens in deoccupied territories, modernizing hospitals and other public institutions, assisting citizens in rebuilding destroyed housing, and constructing underground schools and shelters. Crucially, Lithuania's approach to reconstruction goes beyond simply restoring what was lost. Its goal is to help create a new and higher quality of life, one based on modern standards, sustainability, and resilience. We discuss these projects and the principles behind them with Arturas Jarnovskis, Program Manager for Ukraine Reconstruction Programs of the Lithuanian government.
Tell about your work, your experience in Ukraine in restoration and rebuilding, how it goes since 2022. How do you look at it? How do you consider it?
It's even before 2022, actually. Before full invasion, we had first project in Avdiivka. Unfortunately, it was temporarily occupied, but it gave us experience how to operate very fast, and we took our decisions to start rebuilding in 2022 when it wasn't so obvious that the rebuilding should start now, immediately, not waiting for the end of war. So first projects where we didn't invest too much into the research, it was just schools, kindergartens in the occupied territories. And after that, it became more systematic. We have now very strong focus of education, access to education, rehabilitation. So I don't know. I think that we gained a lot of experience how to work with Ukraine, co-create, not just copy-pasting, but adapting to the reality of Ukraine. And yeah, this systematic approach with the long-term commitment.
What you realized already, and how much Lithuanian government, your organization invested, planted in Ukraine?
In total, from 2022, it's 1.6 billion euros. I mean, it's altogether governmental support in different, including military and energy. But the point is that it's not just governmental, emotional decision, but it is not decreasing. It is first thing. The society strongly believes in Ukraine that success of Ukraine is the key element for successful Lithuania, and together until victory for us is not a slogan.
What's the concept of your work?
Our way of logic, because we understand that we are a small country and rather small donor, we do everything we can, but in the same time, first, it is co-creation. You can't just copy-paste, we know better than Ukrainians. We need to work together and to create decisions together. It is first thing. If we implement very successful project in the right terms and right budget, it is not enough. We need to scale it, not only to prepare a good project and to implement it, but also to show that it should be scalable for other donors, for government, and we believe that those elements, when we focus, is strong institutions, strong economy, rehabilitation of soldiers, and access to the education is the most important for the successful Ukraine and such.
How do you rethink about the objects that you're rebuilding, like this school in Zhytomyr? uh, how it will be different from what it was before.
No, it will be a very new way of education. I mean, we understand that it's to build back better. It is minimum that you should, but it's also should be inspiration for the systematical change. It's one thing, and yeah, we decide not with the regional approach, but sectorial approach all over the Ukraine. So, for instance, Zhytomyr, it should serve not only like a school in the Zhytomyr, but also showcase that could inspire the systematical change horizontally in Ukraine. I mean, it should be like acceleration for much bigger things.
What exactly things? In what details it gonna be differ from as it was before? You know, this we had a Soviet school, and now we will have it its more modern variation. So, what it looks like?
I mean, the process that was before, very long process. It is very important to highlight. Sorry for bureaucratical things, but we took best engineers from Ukraine and from Europe, best architects, best educational specialists, best people from decision making, and we were sitting for a long time how it should look like to develop the concept, because you can't just take from I don't know, Finland or Lithuania or Berlin. Then how it should serve the spaces, to think about security, I mean shelters, to think about catch up because there is educational gaps. And then we announced the architectural competition, not a tender. From architects from all over the world brought the ideas, and the international jury, including Ukrainians and other specialists from all over the world, decided on the best solution. And this, I mean, architecture influenced the process itself. And of course, it will be fulfilled with the teachers, with the curriculum, and etc. But the architecture itself inspires the educational process. I'm not even speaking about, ecological things, sustainable things, because we are thinking about at least 60 or 70 years. The school will be there and will serve as a school for, I don't know, decades. So next generation of Ukraine will have a possibility to have completely different that we had, by the way, also.
I know, because Lithuania also went through this process in 90s and beginning of the 21st century.
Yes, this is the transformation. We have good experience, bad experience. We can share our experience, I mean, lessons learned, and this transformation we understand very much what difficult the process is. By the way, and in Zhytomyr it will be based on adaptive technical design, so it can be repeatable in other places. Adaptive, not standard, not but adaptable design. And also, you can imagine it can save money, it can save time, and small gromada somewhere in the region do have any chance to attract big names Italian architects.
It's good that you're talking about adaptive, because in Ukrainian mind you're thinking about in a Soviet ways that
Yes.
you are building one school and then copy paste.
We have such also in Lithuania, but it is not the same. Adaptive, it's different. I mean, the principles are there. It's like Lego. There are standard pieces, but you can create very different things, So it's maybe a good example to explain.
What experience you can share with Ukrainians about post-Soviet transformation? Because you know that Ukraine did it in a more painful and more prolonged way than you did, or Poland, for example, yeah?
First, I think good examples inspires to keep the changes and continuations. Of course, it is sustainability, economical logic. I mean, the energy losses. I mean, it should be sustainable and etc. Inclusive, very much important. I mean, community, the usage of the buildings itself. It should not be closed from community. It should be operating 24 hours. Okay, maybe not during night, but premises or part of the premises, combined with the balancing with the safety of kids, but in the same time sports activities, exiles and different. It should be like a attractive place, and
always full of people.
exactly, for the community, and it will be very important that it can be the place where all community, I know, veterans, families, other kids, it should be like a place, like community center or youth hub after school hours.
So it gonna share square meters
Exactly.
for any other activities or organizations or even different, not governmental but local
Social
authorities.
To
bodies.
use, yes, because the lack of infrastructure will be a problem in Ukraine for decades, and it should serve as multifunctional center. I mean, it's also the mentality, not to close yourself, but also to be open for the society, for the different activities, including sports, including youth, including
School,
premises.
sports center, city council.
Yes, I've been, for instance, we have a very good example in Odessa region. In Molodizhne, we built it a bomb shelter, but it is full of people, not only from that school, after school hours, for additional lessons, for catch-up programs, for cinema, for sports activities. It's operating 24/7. So it's like a place where people can.
After Donald Trump was elected as the president of the United States, we have some questions of isolationism, that lack of help for Ukraine, that and etc. Tell why it is necessary for the free world to continue helping Ukraine, rebuilding Ukraine, investing in Ukraine now.
This painful 4 years of full invasion shows that Ukraine is the only, real power to stop this barbarism and fight with them. And I can't see successful Europe, and even it was mentioned today, successful world without successful Ukraine, because there is no other way. It just will collapse. And when we speak about, only stronger survive, so it means that someone is dying. So Ukraine, for us, it's obvious that successful Ukraine is the key element, not only for successful Lithuania, but I mean, when we are speaking about, for instance, joining EU, it's not only for Ukraine, it's for Europe also, it is needed.